We're really delighted to have him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome General Peter Chiarelli.
If you talk to soldiers and Marines, and the most poignant story to me was a Marine colonel, and I was told by Jim that he is probably the top Marine colonel in the United States Marine Corps, who suffered from traumatic brain injury, recipient of the Silver Star, and he got up in front of a convening of doctors that we pulled in to try to get our docs to buy on to the NICO model. He told us that he was lost in the system for 8 years before he finally got to the NICO. A Marine colonel, Silver Star recipient, top Marine, and add to that, his wife was a nurse. And he told me he was lost in the system for 8 years. That was absolutely amazing to us. Until he went to the NICO. And we asked him what was so great about the NICO. He told us simply, 4-week treatment. They brought me in. They brought my wife in. We sat down. The first 3 hours was called the Inquisition. And the Inquisition was a period where we all sent soldiers and Marines, sailors, airmen who had serious post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. The Inquisition was a time to come back with your family, and that first 3 hours was to sit down and tell your story one time in front of a care team, an entire care team of all the doctors that are going to take care of you for the next 4 weeks. And the theory behind the NICO was if you're willing to invest that first 3 hours in having that story told one time, if you're willing to invest the time of the entire care team that's going to treat that individual and find a way to bill it in RVUs, that you would save money in the long run. Because the individual would tell the story one time, the care team would hear it at the same time, the care team would put together an integrated care plan. And he told us that was what made the NICO so special. And before he went home that first night, pain that he had been suffering for 8 years was gone, based on the prioritization of treatment. And for him, it was a simple thing. They sent him to an ophthalmologist. They sent him to an ophthalmologist, got him a prescription of glasses that day, and pain that he had had for 8 years was gone. Yet he'd been in a system that had failed to see that for that entire time. I am not knocking the Marine Corps or the Navy. I could trump up many, many more soldiers who would say the exact same thing. And in fact, we brought one out to our conference that we recently held at UCLA who said the same thing. But to sell the concept to my docs and to Jim's docs of being able to do that, we almost had a revolt on our hands. Just imagine 2 4-stars sitting up in front of a whole bunch of other people wearing uniforms, and no one outranked us. But boy, I'll tell you, we got it with barrel. How can I do this? How can I possibly do this? There's no way I could do this on my post-campus station. And when we tried to talk about the idea of, if we spend more time up front, will it in fact provide us less time on the back end? Is it better to do this in a 4-week period with the longer appointments and not have to see a person for the rest of their career?